James Cameron's blockbuster franchise is all set to expand the Avatar saga with the third venture titled Avatar: Fire and Ash. I've been quite intrigued by the look of the first official trailer, and this time around, the complications and drama are indicated to be a notch higher, with new characters and antagonists entering the picture. The earlier movies have introduced clans among the giant blue inhabitants of Pandora, such as the Omatikaya in the first film, who were true to their lush green jungle surroundings. The next film, The Way of Water, brought in the Metkayina, who had a unique relationship with the ocean and developed adequate bodily adaptations as well. This time around, the trailer has dropped major hints about a new clan, the Mangquan, or the Ash People, and they're not like the other average Pandorans. In this video, I'll dive into the lore and theories around the leader of the Ash People, Varang, who is presumably going to be a major villain in the upcoming movie. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who are the Ash People, and how did Varang rise to prominence as their leader? Even though the trailer only offers a brief glimpse, they're enough to understand that the presence of this particular Na'vi faction is not exactly harmonious. The Ash People have been hardened and shaped by the tragedies that they have overcome, and they don't seem like the ones who believe in peaceful coexistence. We've received further input on the Mangquan clan and their leader Varang from the interviews of James Cameron and the actress playing the role of Varang, Una Chaplin. The Ash People were once similar to the forest-dwelling Omatikaya clan, but a disastrous natural tragedy changed the course of their lives. There was a massive volcanic eruption that destroyed their homeland, and this was the time when the leadership figures like Varang denounced the authority of Ewa, the god that was worshipped by the people until then. She decided to sever all spiritual ties with Ewa, and she chose an entirely different path for the future of her people. This path was not like the philosophy and belief system of the Omatikaya or the Metkayina clans, both of whom believed in the interconnectedness of Pandora's ecosystem. Varang aspires for a more aggressive and vengeful path, where she seeks dominance and power through fire and militarization instead of spiritual harmony and coexistence. Thus, from the onset, it's established that she's an extremely complicated character, because it's not easy to dismiss her as just another villain. Una Chaplin has pointed out the same when she said, "It's easy to fall into the villain mentality, but actually, she's the hero of her people because she saved them from misery and starvation and begging." This is not much different from many influential leaders around the world, who are heroes and messiahs to some, while they're viewed as dictators and terrorists by others. Of course, I expect a lot of political influence and relevance in James Cameron's Avatar franchise, and from the first looks of it, Avatar: Fire and Ash is also headed in the same direction. As for Varang, she's a great example of what happens when the faith of a community and their connection to nature is severed violently, and how it soon transforms into militant vengeance. As a strong and vibrant central character in the movie, she also has a badass appearance. She sports a headpiece that's similar to Liani, but it's not clear if this is intentional or just a coincidence. She also rides an animal called a night wraith in the movie, and you'll see the full might of this character against her enemies. I'm inclined to think that her character in the movie will come off as more of a sympathetic and misunderstood antagonist than a generic villain who's purely evil. Did Varang develop bitterness from something more than the natural disaster? Of course, these are still early days, and all we have to theorize are the clips from the trailer and the bits and pieces provided by James Cameron and Una Chaplin regarding the Ash People. However, something tells me that the natural disaster alone does not capture the essence of the hardship that the Ash People have endured. It might be such that before the events of the movie, the clan has faced extreme torture and injustice at the hands of other Pandorans, or it could have been a clever conspiracy by the humans and the RDA, who are looking to exploit the tension between the Pandoran clans. After all, nobody benefits from a deadly civil war in Pandora more than the RDA, the organization that's focused solely on exploiting the insane natural resources of the land. I'll come to this point later in the video, but what I'm implying here is that it is not entirely impossible for the RDA to manipulate certain events in such a way that the Mangquan clan feel bitter and isolated. Also, Varang might have suffered some personal losses as well, maybe the loss of a loved one in the process, which made her further detached from the principles of love and acceptance. She's been led to believe that it is ultimately a world where the survival of the fittest and the most powerful determines the future, and now she just wants to overrun the other weaker clans for absolute supremacy. I'm very excited to find out what it is that truly motivates Varang to go all guns blazing against the other Pandoran clans, but I'm quite sure that it's not just from the consequences of a natural disaster that she and her people endured. Why is the rejection of Awa and the embrace of fire so important in Varang's new way of life? The Pandorans have usually been portrayed as somewhat spiritual in nature, but everything that I've seen so far about Varang makes it clear as daylight that she's beyond such belief systems. She and her followers have rejected the deity of the land, Awa, and this is more than just an angry move. Varang has turned her clan towards harnessing the destructive powers of fire, and this is also symbolic of the volcanic devastation that they've faced earlier. Under the militant leadership of Varang, the Ash people have turned what was once their weakness into their strength, and this is also evidenced from their red, ash-covered appearance. It's almost like Varang has become one with the fire element, and her new radical look is shared by those who follow her. This has probably created some major ideological differences from the other Na'vi clans, and when the time suits them, the Ash people and Varang do not shy away from attacking the other clans for their benefit and supremacy. Will Varang have ties with the RDA and Quaritch? James Cameron has remarked during an interview that this will be the first time in the Avatar franchise that we'll witness an expansion of the Rogues Gallery beyond the humans in the RDA. But that doesn't mean that the old villains will be completely out of the narrative. The trailer features the old nemesis back with a seemingly new plan, and the Ash people under the militant leadership of Varang might just be the perfect tool for them. There are hints of an alliance between Varang and the RDA and Quaritch, and this marks a major shift in the franchise. We now have a morally complex alliance between a Na'vi clan and the human antagonists, which only means that the war is about to get trickier for the likes of Jake and his allies. After his failure during the events of the Way of Water, Quaritch is now resurrected in a Na'vi recon body, and he might find himself somewhat isolated as well, removed from the RDA's upper ranks. There are hints that he might be fighting alongside the Ash people as a field commander and advisor, and he might have his own interests in mind as well. I think that Varang will start off independently as the leader of her clan, and she will not be originally affiliated with the RDA. However, a situation will come up that will make this alliance convenient for her, and I don't rule out the possibility of this situation being created as part of a conspiracy. The RDA have earlier suffered an embarrassing defeat at the hands of Jake Sully and the other Na'vi fighters, and they're now desperately seeking new opportunities to strike back and extend their dominance over Pandora. On the other hand, the Ash people will benefit from the advanced weapons and technology from the RDA, and the trailer already shows them using some of these weapons, like high-end guns and flamethrowers. If Varang and her people have actually suffered discrimination and oppression earlier, they might be open to accepting such assistance in return for the ability to fight back and safeguard the future of their clan. Cameron did say during interviews that Varang is someone who's willing to do things that are normally considered evil for the greater good for her people. What if there's a twist in the ties between the RDA and the Ash people? This is purely speculation, but I don't rule out a twist in the relationship between the Ash people and the RDA. What if, despite the initial partnership, Varang can see through the selfish motives of the RDA? In that case, an alliance with them might be beneficial temporarily, but can prove to be disastrous for their future in the long run, and this will bring about betrayal and new tactics. I would love it if the story offers an interesting twist in this regard, and Varang gets back at the RDA for their past atrocities after utilizing them for their weapons and technology. It could also be the other way around, where the RDA betrays her and her people, and she might finally ally with the resistance fighters like Jake to fight back against the human enemy. This will also turn out to be a nice redemption arc for the character, and we all love it when a sympathetic villain picks the good side in the end. Can Varang really manipulate fire? Exploring all the theories around her special abilities. The trailer clearly shows that Varang has the ability to manipulate fire, which is an unprecedented ability among the members of the Na'vi clan. There's a scene that shows Varang's fingers ablaze, but she seems unaffected by the direct contact with it. There are also scenes that show her using fire as a weapon against her enemies, and parts of the Pandoran forest are set on fire. Of course, we don't have a proper canonical explanation yet, but there are some prominent theories that might be involved here. For instance, the Ash people live in the heart of a volcano, and they've probably adapted to extreme conditions here. The adaptations may even be biological in nature, where they could have developed a thicker and fire-resistant skin. They could also have developed special techniques or oils that enable them to handle fire and heat so effectively. There's a chance that years of living in these conditions has caused genetic or biological mutations that have changed the anatomy of the Ash people. I don't think Cameron would really bring in supernatural powers or magic here, so there will be a more rational explanation for these special abilities of Varang. I think her alliance with the RDA might also be the key to her fire-wielding powers. She might have received weapons or chemical agents that provide her control over fire usage, and this will be a massive tactical advantage. In the battles to come, all I can say for sure is that Varang's use of fire looks more ritualistic and a symbol of power than anything else. Not only does it give her a clear superiority during battles, but it also highlights a new way of life for a Na'vi clan that refuses to align with the age-old traditions and beliefs. What is my predicted storyline for Varang? Can her character be a lesson for Neytiri? I think I've pretty much covered every aspect of Varang and her leadership of the Ash people, and her role in the movie will be a crucial one. With the help of RDA technology and weapons and the fierceness of her people, I expect her to emerge as the clear winner during the initial days of this civil war against the other clans. Jake and the others will become part of the resistance, trying to put up a fight, but it will probably be more difficult than ever before because of so many players involved. The trailer already shows Varang holding Jake and Neytiri's daughter Kiri hostage, and she ominously declares,
"Your goddess has no dominion here."
I also believe that there will be a twist in the tale, and Varang will not just be a one-dimensional character in this film. Neytiri is quite troubled by the loss of her son during the events of the earlier movie, and she's also consumed by anger and hate. The fate of Varang or her twisted nature might actually serve as a lesson for Neytiri about what happens when an individual fails to forgive and forget. Jake has to deal with a lot of family drama and rifts in the relationships, and the one with his partner Neytiri can actually be resolved if she understands the importance of not turning into someone like Varang. Marvelous verdict. Fire and Ash shows a lot of potential. There will be more Avatar movies to come, and James Cameron is clearly expanding the lore further with the upcoming Fire and Ash. From the looks of the trailer and all the information that's available, it's safe to say that Cameron has upped the ante. The inclusion of the Ash people and Varang in particular has introduced an interesting turn in the scheme of things, and if the character is handled right, I think that the movie will be another blockbuster. It looks like Una Chaplin has simply owned the role of Varang, and even Cameron has showered her with praise for her performance. As of now, we all have to play the waiting game and be patient till the 19th of December when this visual brilliance finally hits theaters. Do let me know in the comments below what you think of the trailer, and don't forget to share your views on Varang and her potential role in the film as the non-human antagonist and the leader of the Ash people. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.